free money from your ex that doesn't impact them in any way, why wouldn't you take it? Yeah? Hey, Joe.
Hey, Jade. What fun topic are we talking about today?
One of my favorites, Social Security benefits.
Wow, I'm excited.
And
I'm
divorce.
excited. And from what I understand, we're going to be talking about free money. I like free money.
Yeah, I think, free money from your ex that doesn't impact them in any way, why wouldn't you take it? Yeah? So you'd actually...
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah. You'd actually be surprised that many Americans aren't aware of this little Social Security rule, or, believe it or not, are misinformed. Like, shocker.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of get into that today. So what we're going to talk about is understanding Social Security benefits, the eligibility for them after divorce. We're also going to look at exploring options of claiming spousal benefits based off your ex's work life.
And then also talking about maxing your Social Security benefits, considering divorce and potential remarriage. Great.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Both men and women can receive a spousal benefit. But, a recent Social Security research that was done found that 93% of spousal retirement benefits actually go to women. Okay.
Why is that?
Well, they said that this is because women are more likely to be the lower wage earner.
Or not earning
Yeah.
enough at all, or not qualifying.
And when Joe talks about not qualifying, we're talking about maybe not having met 10 years of earning themselves, which would then qualify them for their own Social Security benefit there. Now, I think when I think of this number, it's also talking about people who are already on Social Security. So I'm thinking that's decades ago when people used to be in the workforce, probably. And so maybe I think those numbers might change a little bit now that we're seeing women earning as much or maybe even more than some men. So I'm hoping that number does decrease.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, I would say the majority of stay-at-home parents today are still women.
Yeah. And I think,
right?
I think that if you look as a general, often the mother has made more sacrifices on her career, on her earning potential. And so she maybe hasn't met all her criteria to claim her own Social Security benefit.
Or even if she has, it might just be lower, right? Maybe she took time off to take care of kids. And then actually people our age are now starting to take time off or dial down because they need to take care of their parents.
Yeah.
Right?
I also see people our age retiring, which I do not understand because they're leaving money on the table from their Social Security benefits. I'm like,
right, what? Right.
So, look, there's a lot of resources out there, but there's also a lot of false information. Shocker. Yeah? Like, who would have thought? So, if you want to find some good falsehoods out there, check out the Social Security Facebook group, which I'm a part of.
So check it out for incorrect information, right? I mean, there's some correct, but you have to really dig.
Yeah,
you have
got to work
dig
out
for it.
So there's conflicting. It's great. I was on there in the last week.
It could be for personal amusement.
Yeah.
Would you say, just like my Amex Platinum Facebook group?
Yeah, definitely.
That provides amusement for me.
So, but look, there's definitely some humor if you read through it there. But the biggest thing, if you can take away from it, is a lot of different people's views who are they're sure that they're correct. And then they're saying that they could, claim multiple people's Social Securities, or get multiple of them. So
you can only have one at a time. Yeah. So that's false. That's our first falsehood.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's get through some falsehoods. That you can claim more than one Social Security benefits. No, you can't.
One. You can have one.
Just one. It doesn't have to be yours. Another big one that I see often come up is when we're thinking about divorcing couples, that they think that they are not eligible to receive a benefit, a higher potential benefit from their soon-to-be ex earning abilities, okay? The other ex thinking that it's going to impact on what they claim from Social Security.
So, for example, let's say I'm eligible right now to get a $1,000 benefit, and my ex is eligible to get half of that, let's say. And we'll go into eligibility in a second.
Yep.
So they're eligible to get 500 potentially.
Potentially, and we'll get into
It doesn't reduce my $1,000 benefit for me.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me.
So you could still be complaining around at the bar later on, going, my ex or whatever,
It's
whatever,
freeloading off of my
she's
benefit.
taking my money.
Yes.
She's not.
Yeah.
She's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to impact you in any way. Okay. So a lot of people, I was actually talking to a new client recently. She wasn't even aware of this. So we've created a new income stream later on in life for her. It's not going to be immediate because she's still in her 50s, but it's something that she's going to be able to get access to later on, though.
Well, actually, which leads to a stat that we have here also, right? Social Security is the largest source of income for most beneficiaries, right? For most retirees, I guess. And then 4 in 10 retirees in 2015 said that this provided at least 50% of their ongoing income.
Yeah.
And 1 in 7 people actually said it provided 90% of their income, at least 90%. So you got to make sure that you're collecting the maximum amount that you can get, whether it's your benefit or your ex's.
Yeah.
Right?
It is scary to think that that last number, like 1 in 7, they rely on it being 90% of their income.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of really showing Social Security was obviously designed as that last, safety net there,
Right.
for keeping you out of poverty.
And it really is.
Yeah.
Right?
In that. So let's kind of talk about even eligibility.
Yes.
Okay. So
if I marry Todd and then divorce him in 2 years, and then I marry Colin,
yeah,
those of us that like Bridgerton, if I marry Colin and I hang in there for 10 years, can I get both Todd and Colin's Social Security benefit?
No, I'm trying to remember which one you said was the first, but
Okay. I have so many husbands.
So let's kind of let's break it down for simplicity reasons. So let's say that Todd and Colin were the higher income earners, and you, as the female, was the lower income earner there.
Yes. Okay.
When they look at the first eligibility requirement is that you've got to have been married for 10 years. So the first one,
eligibility to collect on your spouse or ex-spouse's half of their benefit.
Correct.
Yes, that's that eligibility.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that means Todd's
out.
Todd's out unless you go back to Todd.
Right.
But so that means he's out straight away, and that 10-year period starts from date of marriage to basically when the divorce is final.
Yes.
Okay.
So I hung out with Colin. I was married to him for at least 10 years.
Yep. And so I think you gave the example, Colin, at his benefit was going to be $1,000. You would be able to collect $500. Half.
Yes.
Or we'll kind of get into that.
But what's my own eligibility? How do I get Social Security for myself?
Oh, okay. So the current law is that you've got to have what they call 40 credits or 10 years of work.
Okay.
And a credit is equal to 1 quarter of the year.
What's a quarter? 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
3 months is a quarter of a year.
It's in my country.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think, if you had maybe had a job straight out of school there, worked there for a couple of years, and then went off and studied for the next 10 years before getting into the workforce and then worked another 8 years, you would, from that 2 years and that 8 years, be technically eligible.
So when I sold churros at 16 and did crowd control at Disneyland, and then I left and studied for a bit, and then I married Todd and Colin, and then I stayed at home.
Yeah.
But then now that I've divorced Colin and I've gone back to work, and I've worked now for 8-9 years.
Yep.
Now I have some kind of Social Security benefit that I'm eligible.
Of your own, and not having to take Colin's.
But if I look at my benefit, right, since I don't have much work history, if I'm only eligible for $300 a month.
Yeah, you can take the greater.
Right.
Yeah.
And Collins, he's eligible for 1,000, and
So you
as
get 500.
his ex-spouse, I can get half 500. I can choose to take Collins.
Correct. That is
right?
correct. Yeah.
But that means I don't take mine.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
if you haven't already, you can. It was one of the first things that I did when I became a green card holder here, signing up for Social Security website so I could actually see those credits and those income years starting to accrue. So you would actually probably go back and be able to see how much you made back on those churros. So
Yes,
it might have been depressing. Okay, so
yes, $5.25 an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
Back in the day.
So that's one of the first eligibility for a start. The next one was your ex-spouse, so Colin in this case, was he eligible to receive a Social Security benefit? Okay. Because if he's not,
I know. I don't know if Colin's going to be eligible, honestly, because he's just a rich guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know that he's going to be working.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
So the next one, and then the next one is looking at your marital status. So if you haven't remarried, okay, you can still receive a benefit based off your earnings. Okay. So wait, did I say that right then? So
yeah, I'm like, huh?
Wait. So if you're not married and if you do get remarried, you can either claim your benefit or your new spouse's benefit. You can't
That's before age 60.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So you can't claim Collins anymore.
If I remarry.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, hopefully I marry someone that has a higher benefit than $500 a month.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next eligibility requirement is you've got to be at least age 62 or over to be able to collect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the last eligibility is that if you're not eligible for Social Security retirement benefits on your own earnings, it's got to be equal or greater to 1/2 of your ex's benefits. Okay. So you can only so if your benefit is greater than half of your ex's benefit, you'd take yours. Yeah. So you're going to take whichever one's the higher one.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm working a lot and my benefit is $650 a month, I'm going to obviously take mine. I'm not going to take Collins.
Yeah. That's okay. So that's what you need to do to be eligible. Okay. So there are a couple of other rules. So like if an ex-spouse who is greater than 62 has been divorced less than 2 years, they would be able to receive benefits based on the earnings of their ex-husbands, regardless of whether the ex-husband has retired or applied for any benefit. So that's if you're greater than 62 and have been divorced less than 2 years. Another thing to think about, and it does come up, is like looking at either a disabled child or a disabled ex-spouse. Okay, so the law says if the ex-wife, or if the ex-wife of the retired disabled worker,
ex-spouse doesn't have to be a wife.
Okay, well,
but I guess in my example,
going along with your example there.
If I'm the ex and I'm disabled,
and you're caring for the work, the main primary breadwinner's work is underage child, so under 16, or disabled child, the monthly benefit that you would receive would equal half of your ex's retirement benefit, regardless of her age.
Like I don't have to be 62 to collect.
Correct. That's right. Yeah.
If I am caring for our disabled child of any age.
Correct. That's right.
Or our minor child.
Yeah, it goes
meaning underage.
So it goes all the way down. Once you talk about a disability there, it goes all the way down to age 50. Okay, so you can start getting that benefit from there.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So on the flip side is if you don't have that sort of disability in play there, you will have a reduction in the benefit by taking it earlier, similar to like if it was at your own benefit there. So if you are taking it earlier, like at age 62 or 63, it would be a reduction on your full retirement age benefit. Okay. So
full retirement age. So if you ever pull up your own reports or your ex-spouse's report on Social Security, typically gives 3 numbers. Right? 3 projections of what the benefit might be. So
Correct.
there's a full retirement age benefit. And depending on when you were born, I would say, I'm just going to guess for our listeners, it's going to be around 67 and
Yeah.
change.
And X
Okay.
months, yeah.
Yeah. But the earliest you can collect is 62. So that's called an early retirement benefit.
Mhm.
And then there's a max retirement benefit, which is what, 70 and a half? 70? Just 70.
Yeah, 70.
Just 70.
You're thinking about RMDs.
Yeah.
The old RMD age.
Right. So it gives these three numbers. So when we say, or when Jade says in this podcast, full retirement age, that's around 67 and change based on your birth date.
Correct. That's right. Yeah. And
Okay.
that's actually part of the little Social Security document that you get. There'll be like different ages.
Yeah.
and
3.
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Right.
So I think let's put in some context with an example there. So let's kind of keep on building on, what we had spoken about there beforehand. So we've got these, you've got married, you're getting divorced there. So the first one that Joe mentioned is that she married Colin. They were married for the 10 years. To say that Colin's benefit was $750. Therefore,
God, you're going to use a number that we can't divide easily. Can we just say 800?
all right, you then get 400.
Okay, great.
All right. Okay. So let's put a little crinkle in there. What happens if Colin remarries her?
What a jerk.
Yeah. His second wife, in this case, has been also married for 10 years. Okay. So what do you think?
The two of them were married 10 years. Okay.
Yeah. So you were married for 10 years and then his new wife was also married for 10 years. What happens there? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't like her.
Yeah.
No, anyway.
So this is an interesting one.
Yeah.
This is,
Okay.
So long as they were married for 10 years, each of those ex-wives, in this case,
Oh, so they
Colin,
got divorced?
Yep, they got divorced
Good
too.
riddance. Good riddance.
Can
Okay.
each claim half of Colin's benefit. So you can have multiple people claiming off one person's.
No wonder Social Security is in trouble.
That
Anyway.
could present some problems. Yeah. So if you had 3 marriages that lasted 10 years each, you could have 3 people claiming half of Colin's benefit there.
Interesting. But it never affects Colin's benefit for himself.
It does not. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It just affects Social Security's pot of money, I would say.
It does. Yeah.
It does, yeah.
I think that's a good way of putting it. So what about if you remarry before age 60? So that's a number to keep in mind there. So if you wanted to get remarried,
Me or Colin?
you.
Okay, so I'm getting remarried
So
before age 60.
you're already taking half of Colin's benefit, okay? Well, you're
Well, I'm
receiving
planning
a benefit
to.
based off half of Colin's.
Well, I'm going to because
Going
I'm
to
not
be.
62
That's a
yet
good point, yeah.
because I'm going to remarry before age 60. Yes.
Before age 60, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're intending to, but then you get remarried
Okay.
before age 60.
Yeah.
So what happens then?
I don't think I can. I don't think I can freeload off of Colin anymore.
You do
Right?
Not no. So you're going to go to Ken or whoever the guy's name is and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you get to
Mhm.
claim, half of.
Benedict.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
The other brother.
Yeah. So if you remarry before age 60,
Yeah.
you cannot receive the benefits of that
Ex-spouse.
ex-spouse.
But I could be eligible to collect on the new spouse's
Correct.
benefits. All right. I remarry.
Yep.
I'm not married to Colin anymore, and now I'm married to Benedict.
Yep.
And and we're married and we're happy, right?
Is he on Social Security? Are you on Social Security?
He's eligible for a higher benefit than Colin.
Yep.
So, and I'm not eligible for Social Security because I only worked for 2 years at Disneyland, and then I decided that I'm not
Never
working
worked again,
anymore.
okay.
Yeah. So I would like to collect Benedict's half benefit. Can I do that?
You can, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's my third marriage. I'm losing track, but
Yeah.
that's my.
No, I think. Wait, was that your second? I don't know.
No, there's Todd.
Oh, that's
Todd
right.
that I married when I was a teenager.
Well,
right?
you do know
Yeah.
the stats. If you already had your third, that's not looking good.
75%.
Yeah. So no, like if you're in that marriage and someone is eligible, you can start being claiming.
Half of theirs.
Yeah, correct. That's
Okay. Okay. Got it.
right. I actually met a client one time who was older than 70 and who wasn't claiming.
Oh, me too.
And I'm like, you know it's not going up anymore.
Yeah.
They go, oh, well, I just didn't want to take it.
Yeah,
It was
because
more
they
of
get
like,
taxed.
No, no, this person was more of a social sort of like,
Oh.
I just don't feel like I don't need it, so therefore I'm not going to take it. Didn't want to take the free money.
So, for example, you know what? Let's add this as an example. If you are 70 and you're still not taking it, there's only a look back period of 6 months. So
Yeah.
if you are 71 years old and you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot to apply for Social Security. Let me see if I can backdate it. You can only backdate it 6 months. So just start collecting.
Yeah.
You put the money into it when you were working, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
And look, if you don't want to take the income, you can be doing charitable giving, or you can be other sort of gifting somewhere else with other money. Yeah. So let's kind of take it a step further with another example. So your husband, then
Benedict
dies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens then? So each spouse that qualifies receives 100% of his benefit. So if he had 2 wives, because remember he got remarried, Colin got remarried twice.
Colin did.
Yep.
Right.
So both the new spouse of Colin and also you would then receive that full amount that he was getting.
But the new spouse would have had to be married for 10 years.
Correct. Yep.
But what if what if they got married and he was like 85 and then he dies right away?
That one I don't know.
Okay.
You've got me on the spot there.
Okay.
But think about it that way. Like, so if they then die, you actually then get a step up to what his full benefit was. So I think in the case that you said $800, you both would go from $400 up to $800.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
So that's another way I think they're losing money.
Yes.
They're, because they're giving.
They're outliving. The women are outliving those men.
Yeah. So what happens though if, the second wife remarries though? So if she remarries at the time of retirement, she can look to her current husband, but if, she's been married for 10 years or more and then they get divorced, she's actually entitled to either half of Colin's or half of the new guy's benefit, whichever one. So she gets to pick and choose then. So, and then imagine if she's actually gone back to work a step further. So she's like, I'm getting fed up with these husbands and only taking half the 50% of it. She could actually gone back to work, got more credits, and she might have actually got a higher payout. The takeaway that I want to get from this is really just trying to really maximize
or
the
explore
Yeah.
and make sure that you're not leaving money on the table.
That could be hopefully from your own benefit.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, trying to get those credits of your own. And just even think about the empowerment that can have of like, instead of having to rely on someone else's benefit that is going to be capped out at 50% anyway. So you're going to be hamstrung there anyway. Why not try and earn more yourself so that if you've got the ability to, so that it can be your own benefit as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Power. I love it. Okay. So for applying for this, you got to go to obviously Social Security. You got to do it within like 3 months of,
Your
age
birthday.
62 or older. And then there's going to be a bunch of documents that you need to kind of bring into that appointment. 2 of the ones in particular that relate to this subject is you're going to have your, marriage certificate.
If you're applying to get your spousal benefit.
Correct.
Ex-spousal benefit.
Yeah.
You got to show that you're married and you got to show that you're divorced.
Yeah.
Right?
Or marriage certificates if you're, anyway, sorry. So I think that so what we spoke about today on our call was really, I guess, focusing on Social Security as it relates to divorce and really understanding not only the eligibility around Social Security, applying for a divorce, as well as exploring options of claiming your ex's benefit based off your ex's work, history, as well as, I guess, maximizing those benefits. Which
could be your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Or your next spouse's.
So hopefully that was helpful. I know there's a lot of information in there. There was actually other areas that we didn't even get into with some little known rules. So maybe we can come back and revisit those later on there.
Yeah. So divorce this or that. I feel like I don't have one. I got to think of one.
First.
Okay.
So Joe was recently over in Mexico, in Cancun or Tulum, weren't you? With the 50th Girls birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all got sick at the end of it.
We brought home
But it was
a souvenir. Yeah.
Hot and humid.
Yes.
And I'm back here in sunny California.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like perfect each day.
Yeah.
So I want you to divorce either that hot, muggy tropical weather
Mm-hmm.
or not California weather
Okay.
or the cold.
What define cold?
Like snow, like where there's snow part of the year.
Oh, I'd get rid of humidity. I don't like humidity.
Oh, I love humid.
Well, you said it was only snow part of the year. So
I know.
I'm going to assume.
I wasn't going to make it all the year.
I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what about one for me then? So I think I heard your daughter say one to me actually.
Okay.
Can you remember that?
I remember that she brought one up.
Yeah. So it was...
What did she say?
Because I like to cook. I've got heaps of cookbooks.
Oh, right.
I can't remember the other part that I had to divorce. Was it cookbooks or plants?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And I don't think I would have... I don't know if I'd be able to make a decision. That's a stalemate.
Well, look.
I think I ultimately divorced the cookbooks because as much as I love to hold a book...
You could look it up online.
Probably find it online now, can't I? So
you could.
Yeah. Those plants, I can't.
You can't find those online. You need them in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freaking addict. Seriously.
I'm a collector.
Hoarder.
Yeah.
Hoarder. Plant hoarder.
Well, that kind of brings us to the end there. So thanks for listening. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. I'm Jade.
And I'm Joe. See you next time.
Hooroo.